of electric energy. Spark plug must produce the spark regularly. Okay, and the spark should be synchronized as per the timings. Okay, and there should be a means for boosting the voltage. So yesterday we discussed very low voltage will be produced. Okay, you have to boost it up to higher voltage so that a spark will be given out. Okay, and meanwhile the system should be compact and it should be very light also. Okay, so first type of ignition system yesterday we have completed, that is the battery ignition system. Okay, so this is the screen sketch which gives you an idea clearly. So as we discussed, so this part is the whatever you can see over here. This is the primary circuit and this is the secondary circuit. Important components are, first one is the battery, second is the starting mechanism, third is a coil in which there will be a primary and secondary coil, capacitor, okay, making and breaking circuit will be there, then a distributor and spark plugs. So these are the different components. Okay, as we discussed yesterday, the working we have clearly discussed. Okay, there will be a small voltage in the primary coil given by the battery when you switch on the ignition, right? So that will be magnified by the making and breaking circuit because of the voltage make and break. Okay, a huge voltage will be generated in the secondary coil. So secondary coil will be directly connected to the distributor arm. This is the distributor arm. As it keeps on rotating, so when it comes in contact with the third lead, okay, so automatically there will be a spark here. Why, if you ask? Because one electrode of this cell is connected to the third lead here, you can see, and other will be grounded. Okay, there will be a potential difference, huge potential difference created, so that there will be a arc. Now next, as the distributor moves to 4, same mechanism takes place. In the 4 there will be an arc. When it moves to 2, in the spark plug 2 there will be an arc, and when it moves to 1 in the spark plug 1 there will be an arc. So this is how the system works. So yesterday we have discussed. So this is a day-old system. We call it as battery ignition system. It is one of the oldest system or mechanism which is used. So yesterday we have discussed this clearly, and one video is there in this link in the uploaded PPT, you can see, right? So we have discussed about what are the disadvantages. No, I don't think so. Yesterday we had stopped at this point. So what are the disadvantages of this conventional or battery ignition system? This is a day-old system. Okay. So first problem is arcing, pitting of contact breaker point. Okay. So every 10 to 20,000 kilometers, if you see old Maruti vehicle, every 10,000 kilometers only you have to change all the spark plugs, and the contact breaker circuit will be there, that should be changed. So regular changing is required. Why? Because there will be a wear and tear. That is the main problem. Poor starting conditions. After a few thousands of kilometers, the timing becomes inaccurate. Even though you start using new battery, you have to put a lot of efforts to start the vehicle. Starting will not be instantaneous. Okay, so there will be always starting trouble in the vehicle. Okay, a very high engine speed. Okay, at very high engine speeds, performance will be poor comparatively. Okay, there will be more of inertia effects. Okay, sometimes it is not possible to produce the spark because of fouled spark plugs. Okay, this is also one of the major problems. So these are the common problems which are seen in battery ignition systems. Please take down, because usually they'll ask you to compare 2 types of ignition system, or what are the advantages of some part of the ignition system compared to conventional, like that they ask. So whatever disadvantages are there in this, they are the advantages in the electronic or magneto. Next coming to ignition systems, they will be the advantages. Okay, so please make a note of it. Okay, please take down. Just 1 second, please hold on. One second, please. Now is it visible?
Yeah.
Is the screen?
Yes, sir.
Is it? Yes, yes.
Yes, yes, sir. It's visible, sir.
Please take down. Is it completed? The next type of ignition system that we will be studying is electronic ignition system. So how it is advantageous when you compare with battery ignition system will be the next question. Okay. So here the major problem that occurs is from the distributor, which keeps on rotating. Okay, as we saw in the previous circuit, here the distributor is one of the major moving component. In this circuit we saw clearly distributor is one of the moving component, as well as the contact maker and breaker. So these are the moving components. So these moving components will be replaced in case of electronic ignition system, so that wear and tear will be lesser. Right, so that the vehicle can run up to 60,000 kilometers instead of 10 or 15,000 kilometers without any maintenance in the ignition system. So that will be the major advantage in case of a electronic ignition system. Okay, so contact breaker points are absent, making and breaking the circuit will not be there, so that there will be no arcing there. Spark plug life increases by 50%. So usually in day-old cars, the spark plug life will be 20 to 25,000 kilometers. So in the modern cars, you can see that it can run up to 60,000 or 70,000 kilometers.
Sir, Sunil.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Sir, namaste. Sir, ಯಾವ unit which unit you are doing?
Sir, today I will be completing third unit, sir. Last topic in the third unit.
Okay, sir. It is on ignition system, right?
Yes, 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 sir.
Okay, sir. So, what is the expected knowledge level and CO2, sir?
Sorry, sir.
Knowledge level 2 no 3 no idu.
Sir, knowledge level 3 ವರೆಗೂ ಬರುತ್ತೆ sir, K3.
Okay, sir. CO?
CO3.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you. Just simply I wanted to ask you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you very much. Continue.
Okay. So spark plug life also increases up to 50%. Okay. So that up to 60,000 kilometers without any maintenance you can run the vehicle. Okay. So better combustion takes place. So 90 to 95% of the fuel will be burnt as compared to the olden cars where 70 to 75% of the fuel was burning. So that you will get better efficiency, more fuel efficiency, and the power output in the system will also be better. So these are some of the advantages of electronic ignition system over the conventional battery ignition system. Okay. So please make a note of important points. So whatever the limitations we discussed in the battery ignition, almost they are the advantages here. Okay. So no pitting or arcing problems. Okay. So better spark plug life, regular maintenance will not be required. So they will be the advantages in the electronic ignition system. Just note down the important points. Okay, so we will move to the next step. That is magneto ignition system. See, magneto is a special type of electric generator which produces and supplies the current in the primary winding. Instead of battery, because of a magnetic field, primary current will be induced in the primary winding, so that will be stepped up in the secondary winding. Okay, so the basic components are a magneto, breaker points, condensers, ignition system, ignition switch, spark plug, and spark plug leads. These are the important types. Okay. The battery and the ignition coil, that is the primary coil, are replaced by a magnet, compact magnet. That's all is the difference. Please try to understand. So in the old system, whatever we studied, there was a battery. That battery will be replaced by a magnet. Okay, battery and primary coil. So in this magneto, there are two types. One is rotating armature type, and the second is rotating magnet type. Okay, so here the two important components are armature and the magnet. Any one of them should be rotating to create a sine wave in the voltage. There will be a huge peak and huge drop of the voltage. So that to create that, any one of them should be rotating. In the first mechanism, the armature will be rotating, and in the second mechanism, magnet will be rotating. So its working is somewhat similar to the dynamo which you have seen in old cycles. To the rear wheel, one dynamo, a cylinder, small cylinder like structure was used to be fitted. Okay, when the top portion is made to contact with the wheel, used to get the headlight in the cycle. Same mechanism will be used here. Okay, so first one we will study, that is the rotating armature type. You can just take down a rough sketch. Okay, you can clearly see here, very clearly. So this is the armature, whatever you can see. This is the armature. Okay, so distributor is there as usual. Only the battery and the primary coil is replaced by a magnet and a secondary coil, you can see here. Otherwise, condenser, everything, whatever spark plugs are there, it is same. Okay, so you can see the distributor, whatever we discussed earlier in the battery magnet ignition system, that is same here. There is a moving lead also. You can see that the secondary coil, which is dark black in color, this is the secondary coil. It is rounded around a magnet, and the light and the light color, whatever lines you can see over the magnet, that is the primary coil. So this is the primary and this is the secondary coil. So this is an armature which will be always stationary, it will be fixed. Okay, here the magnet will be keep on rotating. So when the magnet rotates, the voltage will be like a sine wave, it goes up and down. Okay, so it becomes minimum, it completely breaks, again it becomes maximum because of the rotation. Okay, so what happens is, because of that voltage, whatever is induced in the primary coil, okay, irregular voltage, a high voltage in the secondary coil will be produced. right? So the secondary coil is directly connected to the distributor arm, whatever we saw in the battery ignition system. Similarly, there will be a distributor arm. When it is keep on moving, so in the same order, there will be a spark. For example, here the distributor arm is in contact with the lead one, so you will get a spark in the lead one. Next, as it moves forward, it comes in contact with the lead two, so there will be a spark. So as we saw in the earlier case, there was a making and breaking circuit and a battery with primary coil. So those components has been replaced by a magnet and an armature. Okay, so this is first type, the armature rotates. In the second mechanism, here the magnet rotates. In the second mechanism, the armature rotates and the battery will be stationary. That's all is the difference. Because of the rotation of magnet, the voltage keeps varying. Suddenly it falls and suddenly it reaches the peak. Because of that, a secondary voltage will be produced in the secondary coil. So this is how the mechanism works. Okay, as I told you, the second type in battery is the rotating magnet. Here you can see the magnet rotates. Okay, magnet rotates, whereas the armature rotates, whereas the magnet will be fixed. Just take down this sketch. So I have downloaded one more image to make you understand better. Okay. You can see this cannot be drawn in the exam. Okay, just for your understanding purpose, I have downloaded it. So this is a rotating magnet type. Okay, so this is the magnet actually. Whatever the first mechanism we saw, okay, magnet will be rotating here. Okay, so this is the armature which will be stationary. It will not be moving. Two sets of coils are there. You can clearly see here. One is connected to this so that whenever the magnet is moving, alternatively voltage will be produced. Okay, when you switch on the ignition switch, the circuit will be complete and the magnet starts rotating. Right. So the secondary coil is connected to the, whenever you connect the switch here, secondary coil will be connected to the distributor so that the arm keeps moving. Okay, so voltage will be produced. So this is the magnet moving mechanism. So this first type. Here, what happens is the armature itself rotates and the magnet will be stationary. Either of the mechanisms you can use it, but the efficiency will be same. Either you can move the magnet or you can move the arm. Okay, so this is regarding the magneto ignition system. Here, rotating magnet is the key for starting the vehicle and maintaining the spark. So that there will be no question of any battery. So can you give me one example where this mechanism will be used? Any one of you? So what Bajaj Chetak scooters you might have seen, TVS, there will be no battery in that. Without battery, how spark will be produced? This magneto system will be used. Okay. Same thing is explained here. Okay, magnets, different types of magnets can be used here. So one more animation also I have added. Okay. So what What are the differences between battery and magneto? Two systems we have studied now, battery ignition system and magneto ignition system. What are the major differences? First one, in the battery ignition system, if battery runs down, engine will not start. Okay. But magneto, there will be no question of battery. Even you stop the vehicle for 2 or 3 months, it will definitely start. Okay. So the second point is battery supplies primary current in the primary winding. So battery is the key component, but here magneto is the key component which supplies the primary current because of its rotation. Okay. In battery ignition system, engine starting is very much easier as compared to the magneto ignition system. In magneto, there should be some winding mechanism, or there should be some kicker to start the vehicle. External energy should be put, okay, and the vehicle has to be started. Whereas in the battery ignition system, easily you can start the vehicle comparatively. Okay. So as the engine speed goes up, next fourth point, as the engine speed goes up, the efficiency of the battery ignition system decreases. Okay, but as the speed goes up in the magneto ignition system, the efficiency increases. The speed of rotation of magnet increases. In turn, a proper voltage will be generated so that the efficiency of the entire system will be better. Okay. The battery ignition system occupies more amount of space compared to magneto. That is one drawback with the battery. Even at low speed, a spark is obtained. See, in general, I can say at higher speeds, magneto ignition system is more efficient. At lower speeds, battery ignition system is more efficient. That's all. If you are talking of higher speeds, magneto is better. If you are talking of lower speeds, battery ignition system is better. So usually battery ignition system is used in petrol cars and buses, whereas magneto is used in racing cars, old scooters. So these days scooters also run on battery only because everybody needs self-start, ease of starting mechanism, etc. Some of the old motorcycles also magneto ignition system is used. Okay, so these are the differences between battery ignition system and the magneto ignition system. Please take down. Okay, so we will enter into the last topic, electronic ignition system, which is the most popular and commonly used these days. Okay, just take down the sketch. Again, the right side part, distributor, spark plug, everything is same here. Okay. So there will be no circuit maker and breaker. There will be an ECU, electronic control unit, okay, wherein it will be completely programmed. Okay, injection timing, everything will be programmed. As the armature rotates, an voltage will be induced in this second sensor coil. Okay, so based on the voltage, ECU decides and it gives the current to the distributor arm. Right? Please take down the sketch. Okay, so as I told you, the mechanism is almost similar. In the first part, as we saw, there was a battery, okay, and a contact making and breaking circuit. The contact making and breaking circuit is replaced by an ignition coil or armature. To control these two, there will be an electronic control unit (ECU). This electronic control unit completely handles the electronic system of the entire vehicle. Not only the starting and stopping, the indicators, headlamp. So wherever electric this thing is required, operation of airbag, etc., everything will be handled by ECU.